Your county, your station.
The Durham Podcast.
Durham on air.
Welcome to another episode of the Durham Podcast, the show where we bring you all the highlights from our chats with all kinds of people, local people, visitors to the area, celebrities, entertainers, all of whom are doing amazing things in and around County Durham. On today's show, it's a packed show today. We've got Stuart talking to Peter Dixon about the summer of comedy that is happening in Barnard Castle before the comedians head off to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We've also got Jill Campbell, County Councillor for Lower Teesdale, who has rediscovered her love of running after completing Couch to 5k and is raising cash for Teesdale Day Clubs at the Cotherstone Fun Runs, which take place on July the 25th. And our headliner today, Master illusionist Derren Brown, talks to Damian about his brand new show, Only Human, which has just played the Stockton Globe ahead of a West End run.
The Durham Podcast.
So it's a delight to welcome back to Durham on air Peter Dixon, a man who, as anybody around Teesdale will know, wears many hats. And today he is joining us as organiser of the Saturday Sessions. Saturday Sessions? Summer Sessions?
Saturday Sessions now.
The Saturday Sessions at the Witham Arts Centre here in Barnard Castle, which I think we could sort of proudly proclaim as the county's biggest festival of free entertainment over the summer. Would that be over egg in the pudding, do you think?
I don't think so. I don't know if there's any other that's the same as this anyway, put it that way. Where we go on for 10 weeks. It's a 10-week long session.
Absolutely. We'd probably best just rewind to anybody who's never come across the Saturday Sessions at the Witham in Barnard Castle, Peter. Just give us a quick recap of how they came about and what they are.
Yes, it came out of lockdown, actually. They're outdoors. They're in the garden at the Witham. And in 2021, it would have been, the only place you could perform was outside. So it was the obvious thing to do. And the Saturday and the Sunday, they did them then for a few weeks. And it was successful. And it's been going ever since. It's changed slightly from time to time. We used to have 2 groups on a Saturday and 1 on a Sunday. But it became more effective to switch it all to the Saturday, give everybody a rest on the Sunday, and have 3 performers on the Saturday. And that's what's happened the last couple of years.
And since COVID, they've proved very successful, haven't they?
Oh, they have, yes. I mean, we tend to get a sort of a packed audience, you might say. The tables there are usually sort of pretty full. But I was just thinking when I was coming down, it's kind of one of those things where anybody can come, local people come, visitors come, but you can always get in. It's not as though you're going to get locked out or anything like that. So you can sit and have a drink, have something to eat, and enjoy the music. And the best bit is it's free.
Absolutely.
Donations are welcome, mind.
The thing that I always enjoy about it is when you sit in there and you're watching a particular performer and you see these faces appearing at the gate.
Yes.
And it's kind of, what's going on here then? And it's like, no, you can come in. Don't worry, you can come in. You can enjoy it and everything like that. So it's always good for bringing people in who kind of might not otherwise sort of venture over the threshold.
Yes, because you can tend to hear it. It's not ultra loud. It's not, when you're there, you don't feel as though it's loud particularly. But you can hear sort of music, in the open air for quite a distance. So you're right, you do get sort of people sort of wondering what it is. And then I think the biggest thing is the sort of free thing, because they think that, I haven't paid for this, and they look very hesitant. So we tend to have somebody on the sort of car park gate and just say, you can come in and just have a sit down and watch it for a bit if you like.
Absolutely. Now, turning our attention to this year's Saturday Sessions, it looks at, I've just had a quick glance through the programme, it looks at a sort of mix of familiar faces and 1 or 2 new acts this year. Would that be fair enough?
Yeah, it tends to happen that way. There's a few people who have been doing it perhaps from the start even. And we go back to the popular ones, and obviously some people can't do it, so people drop out. So we're always seeking new people to come along and perform for us, which sort of adds to the flavour of it. I mean, the other aspect of that is that it's all sort of different genres as well. There's sort of folk music, there's sort of rocky sort of music, there's choirs. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't make it one genre because, you know, there perhaps isn't enough people who want to do that. But it is better, of course, because there's all sorts of different things. So you could come on a particular Saturday and see somebody who'd been before, somebody a totally different genre, and maybe a big group for the third act. So in some senses, it's fairly random, but we try and sort of do it so that on each day, the three acts are complementary, if you like. But not the same. So, it's a real good mix. And sometimes you occasionally get people who are in one particular set, sort of are friends of other people, and they sort of do a bit of a jamming session in one of the other sets as well.
Yeah, and it's a good mix as well. I mean, there's obviously quite a lot of local entertainers in amongst the programme. The likes of Kirsty McLaughlin, she's back again for more, and Andrew Yeadon. If I can say the poor lad's name properly, Andy comes across regularly. But some of the performers, they do travel a fair way, don't they? Yeah,
I mean, the first week we've got probably to exemplify that, we've got two local blokes, and literally they are two local blokes from Barnard Castle, very popular at various charity events and in the pub sessions and things. But we've also got Chris Kelly, who's a musician who organises sort of festivals himself, and he's based in Hexham. So he's coming down from there. So, I think probably most weeks, just looking down the list, we've got Richmond Hillbillies from Richmond, of course, on the same day that we've got Andy Eden, who you mentioned before, from Barnard Castle. And then some of the bigger groups of Scarth who play ukulele, they're a big group. They're from Barnard Castle on the same day as the Tongs, who are a new group, but one or two of the people in them have played with other bands before. Because again, that happens as well. You get musicians who play for one particular band, but they also have either a splinter band or a band that they also play with. So they said, "Oh, can we bring them next year?" And that sort of thing happens as well.
A couple of names jump out at me. I'm delighted to see that Hop, Skiffle and What's It are back.
Jump, yes.
Jump. Because I mean, if you like, no, I can't. I've never met anybody who doesn't like a bit of skiffle.
Yes.
And they are just brilliant at what they do.
They are extremely good. Yeah, they perform on a regular basis throughout the year at Beamish as well. I think it's once a month in Beamish. I think in the old schoolroom, or was it one of the buildings there, and they're very popular in the northeast. And you're quite right. I mean, everybody loves
a bit of Johnny Gunn.
Yeah, they get all the sort of washboards out, and there's quite a bit of dancing goes along with those shows as well.
And the other one that looking right to the end of the programme, which I mean the Saturday sessions go on from the end of June to the end of August, and on Saturday the 29th of August, can't wait for the Auckland Shanty Singers. I'm guessing that's What Shall We Do with a Drunken Sailor and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's a surprising number of shanty groups in the northeast, and we had I think we had a couple of them last year, and yes, they're coming this year. They, as I say, it is very mixed, and the very last act on the 29th of August, the sort of final act, is the Affinity Choir, and there are sort of probably as many people in that as the rest of the festival, I think.
Whatever happens on that day, it's going to be busy.
That's right, yeah.
On that one. No, it's an excellent lineup as ever. And just to reiterate, these are free performances. If you're just in the town and you're passing one Saturday, poke your head round the door and see what you'll find something that you like at some point in the afternoon. You don't have to stay all day.
No.
The cafe's open, the bar's open, and like Peter was saying, donations are welcome. To help it all. The reason it started was, of course, to not only just help the Witham raise a copper or two for its bank balance, but also it was to give performers somewhere to perform because they'd lost all their work, hadn't they, in lockdown?
That's very true, yes. I mean, some of the musicians are professional musicians, some are semi-professional, and others are retired musicians or purely amateurs, but very good amateurs. And those people tend to do things for charity as well. So it all raises money for one cause or another. And the money that is raised donation-wise is split between the Witham to cover the costs of the thing, and for the musicians as well. It's an equal split. So, yeah, it's all for a good cause. And yeah, as I say, if you don't have to donate if you don't want to. You can come along, have a cup of tea, or sit and just watch. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And the good news is the full programme of Who's On When, as part of the Saturday sessions, is now up on the Witham Arts Centre website. So if you go to thewitham.org.uk, click on June the 27th, which is the first day, and the link there will take you to all the artists that are performing throughout the summer, like I say, up until the end of August. Peter, as ever, thanks very much for dropping in.
Thank you, Stuart.
The Durham Podcast.
Derren Brown has a career being the country's premier psychological illusionist for over 20 years, fusing magic, suggestion, misdirection and showmanship. And he's been amazing audiences both on stage and on the TV, from predicting the lottery numbers, I wish you'd predict mine, to creating amazing emotional moments on stage. Derren's shows are shrouded in secrecy and full of surprises. His new show, Only Human, is currently on tour here in the Northeast. It's visiting Stockton this week before a massively anticipated West End run this winter. Derren joins me now by the magic of the internet. Derren Brown, how are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me, Damian. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well. It's warm. Let's get the elephant in the room out.
It is warm. It is warm. I sit in my dressing room before the show at the Stockton Globe, and I mean, bless it, it's an amazing theatre, and they spent a huge amount on it. They haven't put any aircon in. It's absolutely sweltering.
Have they not backstage?
It's fine in the actual theatre itself, but where I want it is in my dressing room.
That is absolutely typical.
It's weltering, isn't it?
Absolutely. Right then, now this show, for someone who may never have seen you on stage, without giving too many spoilers, which I'm sure you won't do, tell us what audiences can expect when they come to see you this week.
Well, I do swear the audience to secrecy every night. And I'm always very touched that people actually honour that. I guess it's like seeing a show with a film with a twist in or something. You don't want to spoil it for people. So I do appreciate that. So yeah, I do keep it secret. But it's a lot of audience participation, as all my shows are. And I would hate to be brought up on stage. So I throw out frisbees to choose people, which means if you don't want to come up, it's really easy. You just don't catch the frisbee, or you hand it to someone else if it lands on your lap. So there's no pressure to take part at all. And it's, I mean, my starting point is always like, here's a couple of thousand people trapped in a room with me, and what can I do with them? So it is fun, and hopefully it's uplifting, and sometimes it's dark, and I try, there's a feeling of, that feeling of wonder. It's like we just don't get that very much anymore. So there's a lot of things I'm really trying to do and give people something to think about, as well as just the immediate and emotional experience of it. And it's to do with the choices we make and our futures. It looks at all that, but really it's about trying to get people go away feeling amazed and feeling some wonder, and having their jaws hit the floor, and also stuff to take away into your life with that. I'm not being very specific because
you can't be, I don't think. But I think with all the things you said there, what a time to have some sort of escapism and positive thoughts leaving a theatre, and just going in a room with you for a few hours must just make everyone just forget, hopefully, the lives they've left out on Stockton High Street. Do you know what I mean? You too.
I hope so. It's I love doing this job, and it's we're towards the end of the tour now, which is, I mean, it's great because it means the show's in really good shape. We've done it so many times, and it's such a joy because it's the kind of show, because it depends on people getting involved. It's never the same show twice, so that's very nice as a performer, because it means I'm never just feel like just repeating something. And then, every city's got its own kind of feel, and Stockton audiences are great. I mean, there are some audiences that just really nail it. And I've only played Stockton once before, and I remember thinking that last time. And as soon as I came back, and it was the Tuesday night is always the first night of the week, and sometimes Tuesdays can feel a little bit sort of relatively flat compared to the Saturday that you played, like, you know, the previous week.
Of course.
It was great. I came out and the audience were like really up for it. And I thought, of course, yeah, Stockton. So it's such a joy. And the Globe is, it's just gorgeous, like a big jewel. So yeah, it's wonderful, and I'm slightly sad to be getting to the end of the tour. But it means the show's in a really good place, because it was always changing and it's always evolving. I think the later you see it on the tour, the better it is.
That's natural. Any sort of show, I would have thought you get right into it. You know exactly, know it back to front, everything. Which I'm sure, being one person on stage, you need to have it. It must be quite stressful, even though you know it back to front, but you don't know how people are going to be when they do come up, or what they're going to give you. That must cause an element of not just stress, but a little bit of risk as well.
Well, it's risky, but that is genuinely is the fun of it. I mean, if that was anxiety inducing, it would just be a horrendous job. I mean, at the very start of a tour, like the previous show I did called Miracle, all the second half was faith healing, you know, like that evangelical faith healing. And I had no idea if it was going to work at all, because the audience was sort of like the totally wrong audience for it. You know, normally if you go and see that stuff, you believe in it and you're expecting it, and you've already done half the work in terms of the psychology of what makes that stuff work and seem convincing. And I had in an audience that would be skeptical and they didn't know it was going to happen and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that starting a show like that, particularly a show like that, but any show, including this one, right at the beginning, it's like not only are you trying to remember all your lines, but you've got to get the stuff to work. You don't know how the audience are going to react. And then night after night, you're changing it, because that's the point. That first couple of weeks, the show changes drastically. So yeah, it can be, at the beginning, it's a lot to think about. But even then, I still make the decision before I go out to enjoy it, because that's quite a conscious decision. At times I have to remind myself, because if there's a lot of changes and stuff. But once the show's sort of set in and once it's found itself, all of those things, because everything will go wrong. You know, the ending will go wrong at some point, and there'll just be no way of backing out of it. You know, that's happened. Once it's happened once, you kind of realize, okay, here's what we can do if that happens again.
I was reading something where you said about that, about confetti cannons going off at some point, and there was nothing you could do about it. That's one of your famous ones you've mentioned before, right?
It was the end of a show. I think the show was Infamous. I can't remember.
I think it's that one, yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's right. And it was somebody. I was trying to guess someone's phone number all the way through the show. It's like a running joke, because I was like playing the part of a bad psychic, and I couldn't get past the 07 at the start. And then at the end, people are calling out numbers and adding them up and multiplying them, and then we've got this big long total that I've done in my head. And the button of the whole show was that was this person's phone number. And then it just wasn't this one night. I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't even close. And I went, I'm really sorry, I don't know how to say that. Well, good night, and as I said good night, that was the cue for all the fireworks and the confetti. It was a really confusing moment for the audience. But weirdly, and I'm forever grateful for this, people don't seem to mind too much, if the odd thing doesn't work. I mean, you don't want that happening at the very end of the show, but it is just the nature of what I do. It doesn't always work, 100%. So,
but for me, I love that, you see, because that shows that what you're doing, I don't know if real's the right word, but it shows there's that real element to it. And there is that thing where it could go wrong. So I personally, and I think a lot of people would agree, I love that it can go wrong.
Yeah. It was like a juggler dropping a ball sometimes.
Exactly that.
You have to kind of do it. I mean, there was one show I did, I remember, and it got reviewed. I think it was in the West End. And there was this weird moment. It must have been on press night. I couldn't get the lid off a marker. And I was really struggling with it. I could hear them running around backstage trying to find another marker to give me, and clearly nobody could. And it was just this weird thing. And then it was in the review, and the reviewer was saying, one of the most endearing human moments, I guess they thought I was doing it on purpose, was that I couldn't get a lid off a marker. So, there is a thing. If it goes too smoothly, the worry is people might glaze over slightly. And, so, there are a bit of failure is always good. And also, it's quite handy, just like as a person, to calibrate yourself to a certain amount of failures is fine, because you're failing in front of 1,000 people as well. But you're going to do the show again the next day. So it's pointless worrying about it. You just go, okay, so if we change that shouldn't happen again.
Yeah.
And then you go out and do it again, you've forgotten about it. So actually it's that's been quite a helpful life lesson for me. It's been a useful thing.
I love that. I really, really do. So you've done some massive TV shows. You made some amazing things, believing somebody's going to survive a zombie apocalypse, training a group of pensioners to steal an expensive painting for an art gallery. What's the biggest difference in sort of creating magic from the screen versus creating it live on stage? Do you find that different?
Oh, it's very different. Yeah, I think so. On what I realised with the TV, and I think this was a good thing to realise, is that like if you're a magician, if you can make anything happen, which is sort of like the subtext, isn't it? Even if it's not real, but you can, you know, the you can sort of like the feeling is you can do all these clever things or click your fingers and something will happen. Then you're not a very interesting figure dramatically, right? Because what we like dramatically are heroes that are struggling and, you know, they're facing difficulties. But that's what we kind of instinctively warm to as audiences. So I kind of, and so it's a problem with magic because nothing really seems to take any effort. So what I did with the TV quite consciously was shift my role in it. So I'd be backstage pulling the strings,
right? But
you're watching a hero who is a member of the public struggling with this drama that they're going through. Right. And to me, it really kind of made sense. And I think if I hadn't done that, I don't think I'd have stuck around for as long. Because I think people, you know, just get a bit bored after a while if all you're doing is saying, look how clever I am.
Yeah.
So the TV shows, that's very much at the heart of it. They're not really about me. On stage it's different because I'm the guy on stage. But even then, I try and make it about the audience. It's not about me looking clever. It is about the audience. But the context, is very different. The main difference for me personally is that TV shows are months and months and months and months of meetings, and at least the way our shows have worked, and little compromises you have to make, and like lots of that, and then you just kind of film it, and hopefully the filming's fun, but it's been this long journey to get there. Whereas with the stage show, it feels like every part of it is enjoyable. Like writing it is fun and doesn't go on forever, and then you've got rehearsing it is really fun, and then there's this nerve-wracking bit maybe when you first start doing the first few performances, but very quickly that's fun. I love actually touring, like the process of being on the road with just a little handful of friends and being in hotels from week to week. I love all that. I love having my days where I can just do what I like, and then I get to go out and be this, charismatic and well-rehearsed version of myself in the evening. That's really fun. If you've had a bad day, then doing the show just makes you feel great. And so all of that's lovely. So that's ultimately why I much prefer, I think, doing the stage. But the TV lets you, I mean, I have done some extraordinary things and gone to some extraordinary places, and, had to, pinch myself a bit going, God, I can't believe this is what's happening in my life at the moment. And I think that's what the TV bit provides for me personally. But there is also this difference in terms of how, like, if you're in a room and you paid money to see me, that's fine. But I think with TV, you have to work harder to make it about something that's, because I think most TV just isn't very interesting. So for me to try and make something that really is, it's all about remembering what's dramatically resonant with people, which isn't someone looking clever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Obviously, live stage shows for me will always be the one, and I'm sure you just love being out there. Well, you can tell only when you see you on stage. You can tell you absolutely love being there. Now, I'm going to get a Durham on Air exclusive here. I don't know if you're going to say anything about this or not, but just, is there anything that's been burning away in your mind for years you would love to pull off, either on stage or in the theatre? Have you got like any concepts in your mind you're thinking, before I ever pack this in, whenever that might be, I have to do that? Or it's something I'd love to look at doing?
Not really. I mean, there's been a couple of half ideas that never made it.
Right.
But I'd never say them because then I can't.
Well, that's the thing.
I have to stay them away. One of them, actually, weirdly, has ended up in this show, Only Human. It's one idea, which was going to be for a new TV special. And then I just took a break from the TV for a while. But then it's ended up, when we were looking at ideas for this, ended up coming into another version of it. It's like a stage version of itself in this show. Generally what happens is, I try and get on with the rest of my life and do my other things. And then there'll come a point when, okay, we've got to start writing this project now, whether it's TV or stage, whatever. and then I'll just work with whatever's in my head then. So I don't really think about it. I don't have a long list of ideas. And I think it's better that way, because then when you do have to come up with something, you're very fresh in the things that feel interesting to you in that moment. I mean, something like touring, I'm on the road for months, like over a couple of years. So it needs to be something that I care about and believe in. Yeah. So I'd rather leave that thought of what's this going to be about until I've kind of got to do it, because then it won't be something that I found interesting 2 or 3 years ago and I came up with the idea. It'll be something that will keep me going now. I think ultimately that's the better way of working for me.
Absolutely. Well, I know lots of people I know are really excited to go to see you in the Stockton Globe this week. And you're in a lovely part of the country. It's a brand new park as well. I don't know if you've seen that yet on your walkabouts. It opened literally last weekend. Come out of the high street, cross the road, it's literally open, brand new, beautiful park that's cost millions of pounds. So it's definitely worth a little visit there. Go and get yourself nice coffees. I know you like a good coffee in your daytime. So yeah, go and have a little look at that while you're here. And,
I shall be there. That sounds glorious, especially in this weather. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. It really is. It's got a really cool slide as well.
I'm in.
I'm in. Me too. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You can see the brilliant Derren Brown at the Stockton Globe until Saturday. Just go onto the ATG Tickets website, atgtickets.com/Stockton. Derren Brown, thank you so much for coming on the show. Lovely to have you with me.
Damian.
Take care. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye. Bye-bye.
The Durham Podcast.
So in a couple of weeks' time, on Saturday the 25th of July, is the annual Cutherston 5K, 10K fun runs and walks, which take place at 10:30 at Doe Park Caravan Park in Cutherston. They've become a bit of a firm fixture in the Teesdale calendar. The first one was staged in 2022 and they've been going every year since. Among those taking part this year is Jill Campbell, who, among many things, is the County Councillor for Lower Teesdale, and she'll be raising money for Teesdale Day Clubs. Jill, welcome to Durham on Air.
Hello, Stuart.
Now then, let's see what we're dealing with here. Are you a runner? Are you a regular runner?
I wouldn't say so. I used to run a few years ago before COVID, and had an operation, and it sort of set me back a bit. I didn't run for very far though. It was just 15 minutes occasionally to get myself fit, but I just forgot about it, got out of the routine. Yeah. And this spring, I thought, it's about time I started to get fit again. And I thought, well, I'll start running. And I was following the NHS app for getting people to 5K from the couch. And I thought, oh, this is all right. And then I heard about Teesdale, the Barnard Castle Athletics Club, because I thought I'd like to run with a local group. Just for fun, really. And they were doing couch to 5K training for beginners. And I went along and it was really good fun. The course was, I think, about 9 weeks long. And it was a mixed range of people, some who were getting back into it and some that were complete beginners. And I sort of took to it. And I thought, I think I can do this. And then I thought, well, why not do something for charity? And I thought about some of the charities I come across in my work. And the Teesdale Day Clubs stood out to me as a really worthwhile community charity, as you're probably well familiar with.
Oh yes, yeah, we've featured the Day Clubs a few times on Durham on Air. It's a wonderful organisation out here. I think it might be the envy of other places in the county.
It's brilliant. When I talk to other councillors around the county, they're quite envious. They don't, they haven't got anything quite like this, and I thought it'd be good to sort of champion them, and also try and raise some money towards their running costs, which is always difficult to get together for organisations like that.
Right. So when you come to do the Cutherston runs, is that you reaching your 5K, or have you already done that?
Did it for the first time this weekend. Believe it or not, I got the tracker out and said, I better just check I can do it. And it took longer than I realised it would, and it was hard, but I thought, oh well, I've done it now, and I felt quite good about that. I felt like, yes, I think I can do it.
All right, so it's all systems go for Cutherston then.
Oh, definitely.
And it's going quite well, actually, the fundraising side of it, isn't it? You've already raised more than £500. You must be pleased with that.
I am. I'm really thrilled. I mean, I've been badgering friends and family for a while, and I've got something on Facebook, and people have been really generous. And I'm hoping I've got a target of 800. I'd love to get to 1,000 if I could. It'd be brilliant.
So I'm guessing you're a big supporter of the Couch to 5K now, having been through that as well.
I am. I'd recommend it, and I think it's great for people of all ages. I don't think you're ever too old to sort of get fit, and I feel a lot better. I mean, I was getting in a very unhealthy regime, really, of eating cakes and being at the computer all the time. And I thought, no, I've got to break that cycle. So it is good for you.
Absolutely. And the big question is, I guess, after you've done the Cotherstone run, are you going to keep it up? Are you going to keep on running?
I think I will. That's what I used to do. I used to run a couple of times a week, not 5K, but enough just to keep me feeling energised, and as long as the weather's okay, and it's always a bit hit and miss. but no, I think I can keep that as part of my routine. If I do something early morning, that suits me best, and then I can get on with the day's work.
So I'm guessing this is the first time you've ever done anything like this?
Yeah.
As far as fundraising goes?
Yeah. I never thought I'd do anything like this. I just got carried away with the enthusiasm of running around Barnard Castle.
Absolutely. So what do your family and friends make of you all of a sudden putting on the trainers and hitting the streets?
Well, they've been very supportive. In fact, I found out one or two of them have done it themselves.
Right.
And my nephew, who's obviously a good deal younger than me, has just run a half marathon in Madrid, and he said he never thought he'd do anything like that, and he's so proud of it,
Well, we wish you all the very best for July the 25th, which is when the Cotherstone 5K, 10K fun runs and walks take place. I'll repeat the details. They take place at Doe Park Caravan Park in Cotherstone. Entry costs £10 for adults. As Jill's obviously doing her own fundraising for Teesdale Day Clubs, but the event as a whole raises money for a couple of good causes: Pancreatic Cancer UK and the Great North Air Ambulance Service, which I'm sure you'll agree are both very worthy causes as well. You can register on the day from 9 o'clock. And if you'd like to support Jill's fundraising efforts as well, you can. She has a GoFundMe page. All you've got to do is search for Running for Teesdale Day Clubs, and you'll find all the details there. Jill, thanks ever so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me the time. Thank you.
Join me, Stuart Laundy, here on Durham On Air for the Monday Morning Music Show. Just great music from the past 5 decades and beyond. We'll celebrate our heritage stars with a couple of classic tracks from their back catalogue, and we'll relive those halcyon Top of the Pops days with a top 5 of yesteryear. And then, after the clocks strike noon, well, then it's quiz time. I'll test your knowledge with 6 of the best brain teasers for a Monday lunchtime. Mondays with me, Stuart Laundy, here on Durham On Air.